Hey there, welcome to my channel. In today's video, I want to talk about my personal word of the year for 2025, but also why to even pick a word of the year in the first place and how that has affected what I've done in the past. So to kick things off, I would want to just kind of rewind a little bit, and this goes back to 2018. I had to really look this up, and the first word that I ever picked for my word of the year was content, and that was when I was really doubling down on creating lots of content for all of my channels, and it really became a guiding principle throughout the whole year. Now, the ways that you can pick a word of the year for yourself is it could be a guiding principle of the year, as in like this is the theme, and then when other tasks drop on your desk, you can say, hey, does this fit within my theme or does this not fit within my theme? That's one way to look at it. Another way is it inspiring? Is there something that is inspiring to you, or is there a big change that you would like to make? So I do want to follow up with a couple of the other words that I had picked. I haven't picked a word every single year, but back in 2018, of course, was content. Then it looks like I didn't actually do a video in 2020 about a word of the year, but I did do one in 21. And in 21, my word was elevate, and then I kind of picked a word of the year for 2020, which was adapt. And I had actually picked that before everything all went crazy. I just never shot a video on it. Now, same way with not shooting a video on it would be my word for 2024 was the word shift. And I went through a lot of iterations. I really thought a lot about when I was picking this word, and there was a lot of little procrastination things that went on last year, and my life has really changed quite a lot. So in 2023, there was a major breakup of a 10-year relationship, just really kind of changed my thoughts on my personal life and in my business life and what I was going to do forward. At the end of 2023 was the first big Christmas show that we did. And so when it came to 2024, it was time to think differently. It was time to make a shift in both my thinking and in my lifestyle. And so there are some things that happened, and I do see now that I've got a few little mind shift things that I do need to work on, but 2024 was a big year for me. We did several shows that were brand new shows. That was great. I also bought a condo. I bought myself a new car. And it's weird. This is where it gets weird because I didn't want to be all braggy on social media. So I didn't actually create a lot of content, last year, really just kind of focused on all those business things. But what that really reminded me of is, I've been working very, very hard for many years. Really since I launched my business way back in 2014, 10 years of really hitting it hard and hitting the grind. And so when I looked at some of the changes that I made this year, I looked forward and said, is this really what do I want my life to look like? Whether that is 10 years, 5 years, or 1 year from today, what do I want my life to look like? And so it meant that I knew that I was going to make some changes. And with that, I don't want to just put things off forever. It was also really difficult for me to go out and buy myself a new car and a new condo and all of that, because I have spent years and years like being frugal and saving and all of that. So to go and spend anything has been very, very difficult. But that brings us to picking my word. And I've already been living this word for about a month or so. So I want to tell you another story. So I was sitting at my desk and I was thinking about this, like, what do I want for my life and that kind of thing. And so I've got this little dry erase board sitting on my desk, and I start writing out kind of like my little bucket list of like travel things I want to do. Like I want to see London, and I would love to go to a Formula One race, and I want to see the Lego headquarters in the Netherlands. I want in Denmark. Those are big things. At some point I'd like to spend an entire month in Europe. Those are big, dreamy goals. And then I also wrote down, and this was in November, just FYI, this was in November, I wrote down ski trip, because I used to love to ski. I own skis. I'm not like some Olympic skier, but I do love to ski, and I used to have a season pass when I lived in Idaho. And now that I've lived in North Carolina for I haven't been skiing in 12 years. So while I'm sitting there, I'm thinking to myself, if I don't I need to look at my calendar, and January through March is super busy. I can't go then. So I look at December, and so like the weekend after the Christmas show, whether I could or not, I booked an Airbnb, and I ended up going on a ski trip. And the reason why and where this kind of leads is where when I ask myself, okay, if anything is worth doing, is it worth doing now? And more importantly, like, I'm living this. So there's kind of a phrase and there's kind of a word. So my phrase is, if not now, then when? And that's the question I ask myself. So if I don't go on this ski trip now, when will I go? If I don't go to Europe now and spend a month there, when will I go? So if I put it on the calendar, then that's something that can really happen. So if I boil that down to one word, my one word for 2025, and that word is now. And it does not mean, YOLO, you only live once, be crazy, nothing like that. It means that if I'm going to choose a lifestyle for myself, stop waiting. And because waiting can turn into procrastinating, and the next thing you know, years of your life are gone. Ask me how I know. So I don't want to have that experience of ever looking back and feeling like I missed anything that I had any control over. So my word of the year for 2025 is the word now. I would love to hear in the comments. Go ahead and drop in the comments, what's your word of the year? Or what's a word that has inspired you in the past, or that you've picked as a word of the year in the past? And it's funny, I remember my ski trip. Well, that's why I'm wearing this shirt, because I did go on my trip. I wasn't even sure if I was going to go. I went for the weekend. It was absolutely fantastic. I only made like 4 or 5 runs because I'm out of shape. But you know what? I did the thing. I had a lot of fun, and I made it happen, and I felt really good about that. So I hope your 2025 is absolutely amazing. And again, drop in a comment, tell me your word, and hit that subscribe if you would. That's one of my goals. Of course, I want to grow this channel. And, also when I think about making a video from now on, now. If not now, then when? And so that's what we're doing with videos here. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in another video.